Hello, everyone, and welcome into Coach Craig's Sports. And this is the NBA DFS Core Pick video, Core Pick live stream for today, March 23rd. First of all, I want to apologize. I was missing the last 2 days in action, but if you watch my live stream video on Monday, you could tell my voice was kind of going throughout the stream. Tuesday, I essentially had very little to no voice. Yesterday, I was still kind of recovering. Today feels all right. So back in action with the core pick video for today. But without further ado, not going to be a recap since it's been a couple days since we did have a video. Going to get into the injuries for today. It is a 4-game main slate overall. Going over to both DraftKings and FanDuel and talking about my core picks for today. I might have to stop at some point during this video, take a couple extra sips of water than I do in normal. But if you guys do have any questions, whether you're watching live or on replay, feel free to leave them down in the comments. Or if you're watching live, feel free to leave it in the chat and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Also, be sure to know whether those questions are more FanDuel or DraftKings specific, just so I can help you as quickly and efficiently as possible. But without further ado, we get into the injuries for today. So it's a 4-game main slate. There's only one team on the back-to-back, and that is the New York Knicks. So we'll wait and see what their injury report looks like in a couple hours here. But at this point in time, they look pretty healthy. So Jalen Brunson, maybe he rests on the back-to-back just since he was dealing with a little bit of an injury not too long ago. But otherwise, don't really expect much news there. For the Orlando Magic, looks like Jalen Suggs is out once again tonight. So probably going to be a boost for a guy like Cole Anthony once again. But otherwise, pretty much what we've seen out of this Magic team as of late. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, they look to be all the way healthy at this point in time. They did get Jared Allen back in their most recent game. He got pretty decent size run. So not too worried about him. Looks like a decent play on DraftKings and a little bit overpriced on FanDuel. And then for the Brooklyn Nets, just Ben Simmons out once again. So essentially what we've seen out of them for quite some time at this point in time. For the Charlotte Hornets, Cody Martin, Mark Williams both out, so no real changes there. For the Pelicans, we have Jose Alvarado, EJ Liddell, and Zion Williamson all out once again, so no real changes on the Pelican side as well. And then we get down to Oklahoma City Thunder, who appear to be all the way healthy at this point in time, but obviously they're a team that can kind of change day to day throughout the day and everything else like that, so we'll keep an eye out on that throughout the day. And then for the Clippers, we got Brandon Boston, Paul George, and Norman Powell all listed as out tonight. So Paul George would be like kind of the newest one. He's dealing with like a knee sprain, knee hyperextension at this point in time. Assume that Eric Gordon does start in his place tonight, which would make him look like a decent value at this point in time. But at this point in time, not a lot of injuries that we're really looking out for. I don't even believe we have a guy that is listed as questionable at this point in time. It's just everybody that's listed is out. If anything does change throughout the day, I'll leave it down in the comments, as well as the starting lineups as they come out later tonight as well. But with that being said, we're going to get off of the injuries for tonight's game. We're going to move over to DraftKings and talk about my core picks over there. So at the point guard position, going with Cole Anthony tonight, he's $5,600. Looking for 28 points at him. It's a decent matchup against the Knicks. They're not the best defensive team, not the worst, middle of the pack in terms of pace and everything else like that as well. Cole Anthony averaging 26.5 points on the season. Should see an uptick in minutes once again, especially with no Jalen Suggs. So do like him quite a bit. I'm currently projected for 29 points tonight. Good fantasy point per minute guy. If he's out there, if he's playing well once again, he's probably going to go over 30 on tonight's game. And then at shooting guard, I have Donovan Mitchell. He just had a really decent price tag, $8,400. You're looking for 42 points down, averaging almost 44 on the season. Okay matchup against Brooklyn at this point in time. Currently, I'm projected for about 42, 43 points. Looks like a really good value play at this point in time in terms of points per dollar. And then at small forward, ultimately ended up on Eric Gordon at $5,300. Just a decent, solid play with Paul George out there. It's probably in that starting lineup, plays decent minutes. You're looking for about 26, 27 points out. Currently, I'm projected for 26 points tonight. Decent matchup against Oklahoma City, probably back and forth game, so he's going to look pretty good once again. Then at power forward, Kawhi Leonard. He's obviously on the thumbnail. I think he's one of the better plays overall today. He's probably the top pay-up option in my personal opinion. There is no Paul George. So he's going to pretty much be able to do anything he wants to on this offense. I know some people will go chasing Russell Westbrook. I'm not particularly there myself. I don't know exactly how many minutes he's going to play. If the shot's not going down, he's a little bit more risky than someone like Kawhi Leonard, who can contribute in multiple categories and pretty solid on a night-to-night basis. $9,900. We're looking for 49, 50 points out. Currently, I'm projected for 51, 52 on DraftKings tonight. So a pretty good, solid player overall. Has some pretty good upside for even more as well. And then last but not least, at that center position, Mitchell Robinson, he's just too cheap at this point in time, $4,600. Looking for 23 points down. Minutes have kind of fluctuated a little bit as of late, so a little bit down. As long as he's staying out of foul trouble, he should be pretty good, though. If he gets, 26 minutes or more, once again, going to look pretty good. Currently, I'm projected for 25 points. Offer some upside for more if he gets up over 30 minutes once again tonight. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players that I do have listed here, you have $16,200 remaining, $5,400 per player. So not like a ton of money left over. Not really a lot of value on this slate overall at this point in time. But if anything does change throughout the day, obviously that will be down in the comments below. And, my updated core will be out about 20 to 30 minutes prior to lock, but a pretty balanced slate overall at this point in time. But with that being said, we're going to get off of DraftKings, move over to FanDuel and talk about my core picks over there. Obviously, once again, FanDuel is always pricing is a little bit tighter. It's a little bit more expensive for a lot of these players. So it's harder to find some of these values, especially on the short slate, but maybe we get some other ones that do open up potentially throughout the day as well. So we're going to start off at the point guard position with Cole Anthony. Once again, he is $6,200 on the FanDuel side, so quite a bit more expensive than he is on DraftKings, or not even quite a bit, but just, a couple hundred extra dollars for him over there. You're looking for about 31 points. I'm still projected for about 29 points tonight. Obviously, if he gets a couple steals, probably going to help him out a little bit more on FanDuel as well. Very good fantasy point per minute guy that could easily get 30 points tonight or more. So definitely has some strong upside as well. Then we move down to shooting guard with RJ Barrett at $6,400. Looking for 32 points. I'm currently having projected for 30 to 31 tonight. It's a pretty fair matchup against Orlando. If Jalen Brunson were to miss this game on the back-to-back, sit out on the back-to-back, RJ Barrett would be one of my favorite plays altogether on this slate, and we would be playing him on DraftKings as well. Then we move down to small forward with Brandon Ingram. He's $8,700. So his price tag's gone up quite a bit, but I still like him. He's had a lot of good matchups as of late as well. Goes against Charlotte tonight. It's a good matchup, a pace-up spot overall. You're looking for 43, 44 points at him. I know he's only averaging about 37 on the season. There were some injuries, some limitations there at some points as well. But he's back. He's getting the biggest usage. He's involved in multiple categories at this point in time. So do like this matchup quite a bit for him just in general overall. Currently, I'm projected for 43 points. Offers some upside for more as well. And then at power forward, we're going to Kawhi Leonard once again. He's $10,000, so an extra $100 on the FanDuel side. We're not worried about that price tag whatsoever. Have him currently projected for 51 to 52 points. We're looking for 50 at him. Has a ton of upside with no Paul George out there tonight. He can pretty much do whatever he wants to at this point in time. Decent matchup against Oklahoma City as well. So do like him quite a bit, and probably the highest, probably the guy that is most likely to score the highest on tonight's slate overall, and my favorite payout option once again. And then last but not least, at the center position, didn't love a ton of guys down here. Ultimately ended up on Nick Richards at $5,700. You're looking for 28, 29 points at him. Recently just signed a contract extension, so 3 years, $15 million. Congratulations to Nick Richards. That is nothing to scoff at whatsoever. So I guess at this point in time, we'll see if he's somebody that gets paid and doesn't play as well, or if he's somebody that gets paid and shows, hey, I'm really worth this money and everything else like that too. But definitely do love the center combination that they're going to have with him and Mark Williams for the near future. But, I like both guys coming out of college. Nick Richards, decent fantasy point per minute guy at this point in time. If he's out there and he's not getting in foul trouble, which I really don't expect to be the case against New Orleans. We'll see how much Jonas Valanciunas plays in this game too. It's not the worst matchup against Nick Richards, but if it's more Larry Nance or Jackson Hayes or somebody like that, Nick Richards might have a little bit of opportunities in terms of rebounds. Currently, I'm projected for 27 to 28 points tonight. So just a pretty safe play at that center position. If you want to get a little risky, you can play some other guys that have maybe a little bit higher upside. Mitchell Robinson's kind of in that same vein, but he's a little bit more expensive than Nick Richards on the FanDuel side as opposed to DraftKings, where Mitchell Robinson's a little bit cheaper at that point in time. If you want to go down like Kai Jones and you think Nick Richards is going to get in foul trouble, which I don't assume is going to be the case, going to be the case, then you could pay down for like a Kai Jones and kind of hope he pays off in that regard. But a little bit more risk there, but he is a little bit cheaper as well. So with that being said, that's pretty much what I do have in terms of core picks for NBA DFS for today, March 23rd, for both DraftKings and FanDuel. As always, if you guys have any questions related to NBA DFS, be sure to leave them down in the comments. Obviously, not a super long video at this point in time. Quick getting back into it on a 4-game slate, which is probably good for me since talking that much probably isn't the greatest at this point in time, but felt good enough at this point in time to at least put out this video for today. As always, Definitely here to help you guys out as much as I can. And with those questions, as always, be sure to know whether they are more DraftKings or FanDuel specific, just so I can best help you as quickly and efficiently as possible. Hey, it looks like we got Nate up over in here. Melvado, hands down, the best DFS on the internet. Do appreciate that, buddy. Definitely appreciate everybody that is taking the time out of their day to check this out once again. Before I get out of here, I'll pop up the banner for prize picks as well. Maybe we'll have some prize picks later today over on Twitter at Coach Craig Sport. It's a little bit trickier on the 4-game slates, and usually not as good at props, but I'll take a look at it this afternoon. If there's anything else worth noting, I will have it up as well. But if you're brand new to prize picks, use this promo code when you first sign up. 100% match deposit up to $100 when you first sign up. Helps you out a little bit, helps me out a little bit as well. Prize picks definitely a great site, especially if you're into multiple sports and betting on multiple sports as well. But with that being said, that's pretty much what I do have at this point in time. If you are brand new to my channel, haven't already checked it out before, definitely consider subscribing. Definitely would appreciate it. It helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS. Right now, it's mainly the NBA DFS as is winding down. We got some XFL DFS. Should be doing my core pick, or should be doing my picks video for that tomorrow. I'll probably go over some of the recap from last week, since typically I do that on Tuesday, but my voice was dead at that point in time. So couldn't really do that on that day. All that stuff and information is up on my Patreon as well over at patreon.com/Coach Craig Sport. Also have some NBA DFS stuff up over there as well if you're more interested in that. But that's pretty much what I do have at this point in time. Do appreciate everybody that did take the time out of their day to watch this video, watch this live stream, whether you're watching live or on replay. Definitely means a lot to me, and I hope that each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.